The human body is an incredible biological marvel, capable of doing many amazing things. And it's also a surprisingly useful source of raw materials. Humans have found some rather creative, completely bizarre, and sometimes deeply disturbing ways of repurposing parts of the body into products, medicine, art, and even food. I'm Mike with List 25, and these are 25 products sourced from the human body. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe with that notification bell. It truly helps the channel. And also, let us know what other biology videos you'd like to see next. With all that said, let's go on a fantastic voyage. 25. Diamonds from Cremated Remains. I'm kicking off this list with something that's equally as beautiful as it is unsettling. Memorial diamonds made from human ashes. Yes, you can turn your loved ones into literal jewelry. There are many companies that create lab-made gemstones from the carbon extracted from cremated remains. The process mimics how diamonds are formed naturally deep within Earth, except it happens in a building over 6 to 8 weeks instead of, millions of years. Fun fact, it takes about 1 pound of ashes for this transformation. Once created, the diamond can be cut, polished, and set just like its mined counterpart. Families are left with a lasting remembrance piece they can actually wear instead of just an urn they put on a shelf. While this may creep out some people, others find a lot of solace in keeping their loved ones close to their hearts this way. 24. Surplus perfume. Are you ready for something super weird? Well, buckle up. Artist and researcher Craig Ward created an experimental perfume called Surplus, and its key ingredient will have your jaw on the floor. This perfume isn't just oils and flowers, it's made from human feces. Yeah, I said what I said. It's a poop perfume, if you will. To his credit, Ward wasn't trying to make something pleasant. His goal was to challenge perceptions of what people consider a luxury in the world of fragrance. By transforming human waste into a provocative perfume, he pushed all the boundaries of art and scent. Thankfully, this monstrosity of a fragrance wasn't commercially produced, but it did gain a whole lot of attention, with some being obviously disgusted and others being quite intrigued. It definitely became a talking point, and sure has left a lasting impression. 23. Harvard's Human Skin Book. Harvard University's library carries a dark secret in its vault, a book literally bound from human skin. And I'm not even kidding. The Destinies of the Soul was tested back in 2014, and yes, they did confirm it was made from a person's actual skin, an unclaimed female patient who died in a hospital. While the binding was intended as a macabre reflection on mortality, the practice of anthropodermic bibliopagy is definitely as creepy as it sounds. And there's not much that can make it sound better. It was a rather popular practice back in the 17th through 19th centuries and was often used for medical texts, anatomy volumes, and books about executed criminals, some even using the skin of said executed criminals. After the discovery went public, Harvard finally acknowledged the book's origins and ultimately removed it from circulation due to ethical concerns. For now, it's stored away and no longer accessible to either students or researchers. 22. Tooth from human urine. In 2013, scientists in China did something that sounds completely made up, but isn't. They grew a human tooth using stem cells derived from urine. Yes, urine. They made a tooth from pee. Let that sink in. Researchers extracted epithelial cells from urine samples and reprogrammed them into pluripotent stem cells and combined them with dental tissues from mice. The result was a tooth-like structure containing dentin, pulp, and enamel. Was it perfect? No, it was softer than a natural tooth. Did it prove the concept could work, though? You betcha. While you won't be seeing these urine teeth hit the dental implant market anytime soon, the experiment was groundbreaking and was a huge step towards regenerating human teeth using easily obtainable cells. The future of dentistry may be sitting in your bladder as we speak. 21. Virgin boy eggs tradition. If you thought urine teeth were weird, Meet virgin boy eggs. I don't even know how to continue after saying that, but, well, here we are. This traditional springtime delicacy also comes from China, this time the Dongyang region. These chicken eggs are boiled and soaked in the urine of young boys, typically under the age of 10. The urine is collected from local schools, and the eggs are simmered in the pee for hours until the shell absorbs the liquid. What a delicacy. Whew. This practice dates back centuries, with locals claiming the eggs have health benefits like preventing heat stroke and improving circulation, because why wouldn't they? While the dish is polarizing for reasons I shouldn't have to explain, authorities have officially recognized it as part of the local intangible cultural heritage and allow the practice to continue on. And yes, people still partake in this. 20. Urine biobricks. Sustainable construction. In 2018, engineering students from the University of Cape Town created the world's first biobrick made from human urine. Strange? Sure. Did it work? Yes. To do this, they would collect urine from specially designed urinals and mix it with sand and bacteria that produce the enzyme urease. This breaks down the urea in the urine to form calcium carbonate that cements the sand particles together and essentially grows a brick at room temperature. The students were able to create a zero-waste alternative to traditional building materials using pee. Who knew? So the next time you're using the bathroom, just remember that your urine is officially way more useful than you ever wanted it to be. 19. Medieval blue dye from urine. Oh, you thought it was finally done with urine? Yeah, think again. This one comes from Europe during the medieval times, when blue dye was made from woad plants and human pee. The leaves of the woad plant were soaked and fermented to extract the blue pigment. To help the fermentation process, artisans added urine because the ammonia content helped release the dye from the plant fibers. There was even a belief that men who drank copious amounts of alcohol had the richest urine that made the most vibrant blue hue. What a fantastic excuse to drink all day and party all night, right? The process was notoriously smelly and messy, but woad dyeing was a key source for blue fabric. And looking good meant way more than smelling good back then, so, well, there you go. Thankfully, the discovery of indigo made this practice obsolete, and we're no longer wearing urine fabrics. 18. The Hand of Glory candle. Finally, we are moving away from urine. But don't get too excited. What I'm about to tell you is equally as disturbing. I'm talking about the Hand of Glory. Sounds ominous, right? Yeah, that's 'cause it is. This macabre object from European folklore, leave it to the Europeans, was made from the severed left hand of an executed criminal. It was dried or pickled and used as a candle holder because why not? Oh, and the candle itself? Equally as horrifying. It was made from human fat, often taken from the same corpse. Fun. Black magic legends claim that when lit, the Hand of Glory could render people motionless, keep everyone in the house deeply asleep while thieves carried out crimes, and could lock any door. That is a whole lot of responsibility for a part of a dead body. The Hand of Glory reflects the dark superstitions and fascination with body-based magic. People during medieval times and early modern Europe were obsessed with the supernatural, and this played right into that curiosity. 17. Oprah's skin cream secret. Oprah Winfrey isn't just a media mogul who gives out huge prizes and questionable advice. She's also the woman who publicly endorsed a facial treatment that uses an ingredient most people wouldn't want on their face. That strange ingredient? Foreskin fibroblast cells. Yeah, I said foreskin. To be clear, it's not actual foreskin tissue being smeared on your face. It's growth factors from cultured cells. The cells were originally sourced from a single donated infant foreskin decades ago and are now used in laboratory cultures to produce proteins that stimulate collagen and skin repair. Skin Medica includes these compounds in its anti-aging products. The treatment, dubbed the foreskin facial, sparked controversy when Oprah enthusiastically promoted it. Proponents claim the ingredients are lab-grown and ethically derived, but I'll try explaining that to your friends that your glowy skin is courtesy of baby foreskin cells. 16. Ttongsul, Korean excrement drink. Just when you thought I was done with bodily waste? Surprise! I'm not. Meet Ttongsul, a rare and nearly extinct traditional Korean rice wine made using human feces. Yep, we're back to poop. Are you not entertained? Historically, Ttongsul was believed to have medicinal properties and was used to treat ailments like pain and broken bones. The process involved mixing fermented rice, herbs, and a small amount of human excrement, typically from children, and then setting it and forgetting it for a few days to brew. This resulted in a drink that was alleged to heal injuries but smelled atrocious. Luckily for all of humanity, this practice became obsolete when modern medicine became popular. There's no longer need to drink poop wine when painkillers, actual medicine, and surgery exist. 15. Macabre cabaret dining. The people of 19th century Paris loved themselves a good themed restaurant. Who doesn't? In fact, Paris was home to one of the world's first themed restaurants, and it was absolutely wild. The Cabaret du Néant, or Cabaret of Nothingness, was a death-themed diner that walked you through a dining experience that would make today's scariest Halloween haunts look tame. Waitstaff dressed as monks and undertakers greeted patrons. They were served bière, a clever French pun for beer and coffin, in cups shaped like human skulls. The main hall, salle d'intoxication, featured chandeliers made of actual human bones and coffin-shaped tables that were accompanied by eerie light designed to make it look like corpses were transforming into skeletons. Sounds fancy. The dark humor of this goth setting made it a popular tourist attraction. People loved to pay the big sticker prices to eat and drink surrounded by death imagery. Who wouldn't? Sounds like a blast. 14. Cheese from Bacterial Origins. And now for the least delicious fact ever. In 2013, scientists at Trinity College in Dublin did something with cheese that's so unfathomable it makes blue cheese look appetizing. It is. I love blue cheese. Hey, blue cheese is great. They made cheese using bacteria collected from human body parts. Yes, toe cheese was a thing. And so was belly button cheese and armpit cheese. All real, all disgusting. The project was called Self-Made and involved making experimental cheese to highlight how the same bacteria responsible for body odor can also be found in traditional cheese cultures. The cheeses were not made for eating. Thankfully, can you even imagine? They were displayed as a thought-provoking installation about identity, microbiology, and the unseen ecosystems living on and within us. It answered questions no one ever asked or even wanted the answers to. 13. Governor's shoes of human skin. John Eugene Osborne wasn't just famous for becoming the very first democratically elected governor in Wyoming in 1893. Oh no, he was also famous for his fashion sense. I'm talking specifically about his shoes. His shoes, which were made of human skin, were commissioned for his inauguration. How the heck did this even happen? Well, before becoming a politician, Osborne was a physician, and he gained access to the body of executed outlaw, train robber, and murderer, Big Nose George Parrott. He couldn't think of a better way to dispose of the criminal's remains than using it to craft a pair of human skin shoes. That's not psychopathic at all. Oh, and he didn't stop there. This completely mentally well doctor turned politician also had a doctor's bag and coin purse made from George's skin. And he decided to gift his teenage assistant the top of George's skull as a fun little keepsake, because nothing says mentoring like handing off body parts. If you ever want to see these horror shoes, you can. All of these artifacts are still on display in Wyoming's museums. How grand. 12. Hair-based oil absorption. Every salon sweeps up piles of hair clippings at the end of the day and tosses them straight into the garbage. Except, some brilliant people realize that hair isn't just trash. It's an oil-eating machine. Hair naturally absorbs oil. And not just a little bit either. I'm talking anywhere from 3 to 9 times its own weight, while water just slides right off. Wig makers and environmental groups started collecting donated clippings from barbershops and salons, stuffing them into nylon stockings or mesh tubes, and boom! Instant oil spill cleanup tools. When oil spills hit the ocean, these hair-filled booms get deployed to soak up the mess. The hair's porous structure traps all that petroleum without needing synthetic materials or chemicals. It's biodegradable, costs almost nothing, and turns waste into something useful. Your last haircut could be out there saving sea turtles right now. Makes you feel a little better about that bad trim, doesn't it? 11. Jenkem, an inhalant hallucinogen. Had enough human skin? No? Too bad. Let's go back to poop. Have you heard of Jenkem? If not, I hope you don't plan on sleeping tonight, because this one will haunt you. Jenkem is an improvised inhalant made by fermenting human feces and urine in a sealed container to produce toxic fumes. Why would one even do such a thing? To huff it, of course. All those of you who said to throw it away probably feel really silly about now, huh? According to reports from the mid-90s, youths in Zambia supposedly used Jenkem as a cheap hallucinogenic substance. Why inhale street drugs when you can inhale this instead? It's cheap, it's free, and it allegedly does the same thing as whippets. And if you don't know what whippets are, don't look it up. Keep being innocent, please. The kids claim they would have vivid hallucinations and experience euphoria. This claim sounds so unhinged that news spread far and wide, with even the media covering it in the 2000s. Authorities even issued warnings on TV about this disgusting new drug. Was it real, though? Investigations found little evidence that it was actually widely used, if at all, or that it had any effects whatsoever. Imagine being the one to have to test it out. Anyway, it's since become a notorious example of sensationalized reporting and how panic can happen over something that may not even exist. 10. Human flesh capsules as supplements. Okay, let's take another break from potty talk to discuss what went down at the Korean Customs Service in 2011 and 2012. The agents working there discovered something absolutely horrific. Nearly 17,500 capsules filled with powdered human flesh from babies and fetuses being smuggled into South Korea from China. Why would anyone need this? Well, duh, for medicinal purposes, silly. These capsules were reportedly marked as traditional medicine and believed to cure diseases and boost stamina. Authorities intercepted the drop and launched a full-fledged investigation into this odd smuggling operation. This sparked international outrage and raised serious ethical and legal questions about traditional medicine practices and how the black market operates. The fact that there were so many capsules made shows just how in demand it was. This wasn't some unknown fad. This was quite popular and highly questionable. 9. Baby foreskins for synthetic skin. Oh, you thought you'd never have to hear about baby foreskin again? Well, as it turns out, Oprah wasn't the only person to use it for skincare. But this time, it's not as tragic sounding. Neonatal foreskin tissues from routine circumcisions can be collected with parental consent to be used in medical research and biotechnology, and from there, used to grow synthetic skin in labs. Yes, really. These tiny pieces of tissue contain an abundance of fibroblasts, which are the cells that promote collagen production and help regenerate tissue. One single donated foreskin can produce millions of cells when cultured in a lab. And it doesn't take much, because scientists can use cell lines derived from just a few original samples to replicate this over and over again. These cells are used to treat chronic diabetic ulcers, help heal wounds, and create skin grafts for burn victims. Pretty miraculous when you think about it. And yes, much like Oprah, companies do use them in skincare and beauty products. 8. Writer's ashes in comic. If you're a comic geek like me, grab your tissues because this may bring a tear or two to your eye. I'm going to tell you all about Mark Gruenwald's dying wish and just how special it was. When the Marvel Comics writer and editor passed away in 1996, he had one final request that's not just wild, but incredibly touching. He asked for his ashes to be mixed into the printer ink of a comic book. And yes, Marvel actually honored this wish. They had a portion of his remains incorporated into the ink used to print the first collected edition of Grunwald's acclaimed 1985 miniseries, Squadron Supreme. Fans who were lucky enough to get a copy don't just hold his legacy, they hold a piece of him too. This is a fitting send-off for the man who was deeply passionate about comics and the Marvel Universe. Is it morbid? Sure. But is it also cool as heck? 1,000 times yes. Not many people could say their remains are scattered across thousands of comic books that are sitting on shelves worldwide. 7. Sunglasses from human hair. Ready for something that sounds made up but isn't? Of course you are. I mean, that's basically what this whole list has been. Anyway, this one is about some sunglasses that are made of something extra special. Designers have created sunglasses made entirely of human hair. The process involves collecting human hair from salons and processing it into a durable bioplastic-like material that can be molded into frames. Unique, lightweight, biodegradable, eco-friendly. Sounds like a huge win with very little downsides. This concept explores the relationship between fashion, human identity, and waste. They've taken something everyone just throws away and turned it into something useful. While it may sound weird to put someone's hair on your face in the form of glasses, why not? It's no weirder than that skin cream Oprah was hawking. Don't you feel dumb throwing out those luscious locks when your mother gives you a kitchen trim? Who knew you could use those strands to make something super cool? 6. Urokinase's human urine enzymes. Remember when you thought I was done talking about urine? Yeah, I'm back on that again. But at least this time urine is actually saving lives instead of being used for weirdness. Meet urokinase, a medical drug that was originally developed using enzymes that were extracted from urine. The enzyme, called urokinase type plasminogen activator, is only good at one thing, but it's a very important thing. Its one and only job is to dissolve fibrin, which is a key component of blood clots. Urokinase was discovered in the 40s and became critical for life-threatening conditions like heart attacks, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. It even helped treat certain cancers. It truly became the difference between life and death. Modern production no longer involves using human pee. Scientists now use recombinant DNA technology to produce the drug. 5. Jewelry made from teeth. Have you ever looked at someone's smile and thought, I'd love to wear their teeth as a necklace? No? Well, good for you, normie. Some people, however, really like this idea. So much so that they very much do make jewelry using human teeth. Real teeth. On purpose. This practice was hyper popular during the Victorian era. They enjoyed having mourning jewelry created from their deceased loved ones' hair and teeth to keep them close. Today, modern artists are reviving that trend, using teeth in marvelous designs meant to honor the dead and to remind the living of their memory. Is it unsettling? Sure, it can be for some people. But for others, this is deeply personal and symbolic. I guess it depends on who you ask. 4. Placenta consumption after childbirth. Okay, friends, buckle up, because I'm about to talk about placentophagy. That's the fancy scientific term for eating your own placenta after giving birth. While this is quite normal for mammals in the animal kingdom, humans aren't as keen on it. For the most part, the placenta becomes nothing more than bio-waste after birth. But for some mothers, it does become nutrition. For those who partake in this particular adventure, it's believed the placenta helps with postpartum recovery by balancing hormones and keeping up energy levels. This sounds great, right? Except, scientific evidence for these claims is pretty limited. The preparation is where many people get freaked out by this tradition. Some blend it into smoothies. Yummy. Some cook it into dishes like lasagna, stew, or pasta sauce. Like you're hiding veggies from a toddler. The most popular way? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That would be dehydrating it, grinding it into a fine powder, and encapsulating it into pills to take daily. That one seems a bit more reasonable for those who are queasy. While medical experts generally caution against eating your placenta, it remains a tradition that perseveres across the globe. 3. Chicha, Saliva-Fermented traditional beverage. Long before modern brewing techniques existed, indigenous communities in Central and South America used a rather odd method to make their most beloved alcoholic beverage. Chicha is created by the brewer chewing maize and spitting the mixture into a container for fermentation. The science behind it is pretty straightforward. Enzymes in human saliva break down starches and sugars, and wild yeast converts all that into alcohol. This method was central to Inca culture. In the Inca Empire, women who served in the Achahuasi learned to brew chicha specifically for ceremonies and religious rituals. Unusual? Yes. Weird to outsiders? Sure. Still being done today? You bet. Some communities still brew chicha this way and keep those ancient methods alive. 2. Eerie blood sculptures. British artist Mark Quinn has been making self-portraits from his own frozen blood since 1991. No, they aren't paintings or sketches. These are literal sculptures of his head made from 9 pints of his own blood. 9. Roughly the total amount of blood circulating in the human body. Quinn's project, titled Self, involved drawing his blood over several months, molding it into a cast of his head, and keeping it in a specialized freezer so that it doesn't melt into a horror show. He's created 5 versions of this bust over the decades, each one documenting how he's aged physically and emotionally. One of them sold for a cool $465,000. The most chilling part? Quinn is considering the idea of a final sculpture to be made after his death. Is it a good idea? Even he says he's not so sure about that, since the series is about living. But imagine if it does happen and someone uses his blood to form a final tribute to the artist. What a bloody good time that would be. 1. Artist's lifelike wooden replica. Japanese artist Hananuma Masakichi created something that's equal parts incredible and heartbreaking before passing away in 1885. He made an eerily realistic wooden replica of his entire body. He painstakingly constructed the sculpture using thousands of wood strips. And he didn't stop there. He embedded his own hair into the scalp and even used his actual finger and toenails along with his teeth. Yes, he put his human teeth into the sculpture's wooden mouth. The results were so lifelike that when he stood beside his sculpture, people had a hard time figuring out who was the artist and who was the statue. Tragically, his girlfriend didn't take too well to these shenanigans and left him. He died 10 years later, but his masterpiece eventually ended up in Robert Ripley's collection, purchased for a measly $10. And there you have it. 25 products created using the human body that prove humans are equal parts creative, resourceful, and absolutely unhinged. Some are tributes and culturally significant. Others may sound awful, but they did give us some amazing scientific breakthroughs. The rest, though? Why? Just why? Why would anyone think any of that is a good idea? Well, at least it was a fun journey, right? If you had a good time with this video, make sure to check out 25 incredible facts about the human body. It's just as crazy as this one. I mean, who doesn't need more fun facts to scar their friends? Like I said earlier, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another video. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.